China's yuan is at a 16-year low, and the country appears to be experiencing deflation.
Really quite disconcerting was the youth unemployment figure.
A multi-billion yuan expressway, one side unfinished and abandoned.
Ladies and gentlemen, China's economy is in a serious crisis. We're not here to sugarcoat or dance around the issue. We're here to expose the harsh realities faced by the world's second most populous nation. It's not just one problem. We're talking about a perfect storm of economic nightmares. First one is its real estate market, the colossal house of cards that's finally collapsing. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. China's youth, its future, is bearing the brunt of skyrocketing unemployment rates. And let's not forget the millionaires, the super rich of China, who are packing their bags and fleeing the scene as their wealth dissipates. But hold on, there's more. Consumption is plummeting. Businesses are cutting prices just to stay afloat, and deflation is knocking on the door. The Chinese government is throwing Hail Marys left and right, making bizarre moves like granting 25-year loans to senior citizens. This is a full-blown economic meltdown, and we've got the hard-hitting evidence to prove it. Chapter 1. The Real Estate Quagmire. For decades, China's real estate market seemed unstoppable. Skyscrapers reaching for the heavens, sprawling apartment complexes, glittering cities built from scratch. In the glitzy neighborhoods of Shanghai, luxury apartments were once hotter than hotcakes. Some of these apartments used to cost a staggering $22,000 per square meter. That's enough to buy you a small castle in Europe. But today, those same luxury apartments are languishing on the market, unsold and unwanted. For a growing number of Chinese homeowners, their houses have become a trap of uncertainty. Take, for instance, the soaring vacancy rates in China's megacities. Ghost towns, they call them. These are glittering metropolises with eerily empty streets and skyscrapers, like the set of a post-apocalyptic movie. A reported 65 to 90 million vacant homes are a stark testament to the excesses of China's real estate boom. That's more empty houses than the entire population of countries like France. But what's causing this sudden housing hangover? To understand, we need to peel back the layers. Missing a mere $20 million debt payment by China's biggest real estate player, Country Garden Holdings, might seem insignificant. But when you look at other top developers, like the Evergrande Group, the magnitude becomes staggering. The Evergrande Group had an insatiable appetite for expansion. They gobbled up land, borrowed massive sums, and built at breakneck speed. Evergrande alone racked up a staggering $300 billion in debt. Now, that debt is coming home to roost, with Evergrande missing debt payments and causing shockwaves throughout the global financial system. The human cost is immeasurable. Families that invested their life savings in homes they can't sell now face financial ruin. It's a dire situation that goes beyond balance sheets. The real estate crisis is like a set of dominoes. When one falls, it triggers a chain reaction. Suppliers, laborers, and small businesses get hit even harder. The ripples of China's real estate crisis extend far beyond its borders. International investors with a stake in Chinese real estate are nervously eyeing their portfolios. Chapter 2. Debt Dilemma. Let's dive deep into the debt dilemma, a ticking time bomb that threatens to obliterate China's economic aspirations. China's debt has swollen to a jaw-dropping 310% of its GDP. It's a debt explosion of monumental proportions that could dwarf any financial crisis in history. But who's holding this debt? The answer may send shivers down your spine. Evergrande was just the poster child of this crisis, holding a debt of over $300 billion, equivalent to the GDP of countries like Finland or Hong Kong. But it's not just one company. China's 4 largest banks have issued loans worth more than the entire German GDP. If they falter, it could trigger a domino effect, jeopardizing the stability of the entire financial system. And it won't stop at China's shores. it could engulf the entire global economy. We say so because China accounts for more than 25% of the entire global economic growth. Global stock markets could nosedive, economies could crumble, and your investments could be hanging by a thread. Chapter 3. The Youth Unemployment Crisis. China's youth unemployment rate stands at a staggering 21%. Over 1 in 5 young adults are struggling to find work. As of 2020, 140 million young Chinese are grappling with unemployment. That's like the entire population of Japan or the United Kingdom facing joblessness. In 2021, over 9 million Chinese graduates entered the job market, but many of them still struggle to find suitable employment. The youth, often dubbed as the strawberry generation, are increasingly discontented. High unemployment rates could lead to social unrest, sparking a revolt that China's government may struggle to contain. The world's factory could become a hotbed of social unrest, sending shockwaves throughout global supply chains. Chapter 4. China's Economic Model. China's economic rise has been nothing short of phenomenal, transforming it into the world's second-largest economy. But beneath the glimmering surface, cracks are beginning to appear, raising a haunting question. Is China's economic model a boon or a looming bust? To understand this, let's unravel the layers of China's financial complexity. It starts with debt, a staggering $47 trillion monster. It's like having a credit card debt that's more than 3 times your annual salary. The real estate frenzy fueled this debt explosion. Debt wasn't just a byproduct. It was the fuel for China's spectacular growth. It's as if they were building skyscrapers on quicksand, with the world marveling at the height while ignoring the shaky foundation. But the Chinese government realized that they were playing a dangerous game. In a desperate bid to cool the overheated property market, they imposed strict regulations on corporate lending. But that didn't work. Let's talk about Evergrande Group, a conglomerate that once symbolized China's unstoppable global ambitions. With over $90 billion in debt, they embarked on a reckless acquisition spree, believing they could defy gravity. They were wrong. The result? A high-flying empire grounded, illustrating the perils of China's debt addiction. China's stock market, you ask? While it may appear robust, it's more illusion than reality. Don't forget the 2015 meltdown, when $5 trillion of market value suddenly vanished, proving that it's an elaborate house of cards, susceptible to the smallest gusts of wind. China's growth model, while awe-inspiring, could very well be its own Titanic. Chapter 5. Tightening Grip of CCP. The Chinese dragon has a relentless grip on its people and industries. Tencent, the tech giant, knows this all too well. When they dared to introduce features challenging the government's control, their stock value plummeted by $82 billion. And what about Alibaba? Jack Ma's unfiltered criticism of Chinese regulators led to the suspension of Ant Group's IPO. China's Great Firewall is infamous for not only blocking foreign websites, but also shielding the world from witnessing the full extent of China's grip. Huawei, the global telecom giant, carries the weight of China's ambitions on its shoulders. It's not just about phones, it's about the geopolitical chessboard. Countries worldwide are torn between using their advanced technology and fearing its ties to China's government. The Uyghur issue casts a dark shadow on China's human rights record. Reports of forced labor and mass detentions make headlines, forcing international companies to confront their complicity in China's atrocities. China provides massive state subsidies and aggressive pricing in industries like steel and solar panels. Their dominance cornered the market, leaving international competitors struggling to keep pace. Consider the steel industry. Excessive Chinese steel exports led to job losses globally, shaking the very foundations of international economies. China's strategies create an uneven playing field where the odds are stacked in their favor. It's evident that China's challenges are intertwined with the global landscape. The decisions made within the walls of Beijing echo across markets worldwide. As China's government tightens its grip, the world grapples with a fundamental question that remains unanswered. How can you engage with a dragon that refuses to be tamed?